I'm saying, I want to break up with you, the girl named Wei Wei said coldly. Also, from now on, please don't call me Wei Wei. My name is Hu Shui Hui. Why? Ji Feng asked with a pale face. Wei Wei, why is this? Ji Feng's heart ached and he almost fell down. Just 2 months ago, the two had made a solemn vow to never separate, but after a summer vacation, he heard the decisive words of breaking up. How could he accept this? Ji Feng stared blankly at the beautiful girl in front of him, feeling unbearable pain in his heart. Hu Shuihui and Ji Feng are both senior high school students at Mengshi County No. 2 Middle School and are classmates. Ji Feng is a down-to-earth person who doesn't talk much. Although his home is in the county town, he is not as ostentatious as other students from the county town. His grades are just a little bit lower, and he can only be considered below average in the class. Hu Shuihui was lively, beautiful, and enjoyed talking to people. She was also the deputy monitor of the class, so she was very popular among the male classmates. Some of them even fought for her. But in the end, it was the usually taciturn Ji Feng who won the girl's heart. Because the two were deskmates, they developed feelings for each other over time and secretly developed an underground relationship. However, Ji Feng did not expect that as soon as the third year of high school started, he would hear Hu Shuihui's request to break up. Why? You still have the nerve to ask me why? Hu Shuihui raised her voice a lot when she heard this, causing the students passing by to turn their heads and glance at her. Did I do something wrong? Ji Feng asked with a pale face, his tone almost pleading. Ji Feng, we can't continue this because our future paths are different. Hu Shuihui said coldly and arrogantly, do you think your family can support you to go to college? With your grades, can you get into college? I want to go to college and live in the city in the future. Being with you will only ruin my future. Family? Ji Feng's face turned pale, but he still asked, didn't I tell you long ago that my family is very poor? Why did you ask for a breakup only now? Why? Hu Shuihui sneered, her tone full of sarcasm. Ji Feng, you know, during the summer vacation, I went to my sister's house in Jiangzhou. Do you know how much the house my sister and brother-in-law lived in is worth? Even if you work hard your whole life, you can't even afford a toilet. Do you know how much my sister's car is worth? Ji Feng shook his head with difficulty and said, I will work hard to make money. Ji Feng heard Hu Shuihui talk about her sister. It was said that her sister worked in Jiangzhou. How come she suddenly became rich now? HMPH, work hard? Hu Shuihui laughed sarcastically. How many years of hard work? 10, 20, or 50? I don't want to follow you until I'm almost dying of old age before I can afford a house or a car in a big city. Ji Feng, don't bother me anymore. I must go to Jiangzhou to go to university. By then, we won't be from the same world anymore. Ji Feng stared at her blankly. Originally, that pretty face would always bloom the most beautiful smile to him, but now, this beautiful face was full of arrogance, and those moving eyes were full of indifference. Okay, let's break up. Ji Feng finally nodded. Hu Shuihui had already shown a cold and distant apathy, and his efforts to win her back were in vain. In this situation, Ji Feng, who was feeling inferior, chose to preserve the last bit of dignity for himself. Also, I've asked the teacher to change our seats. We're no longer deskmates, and we don't have any relationship anymore. Hu Shuihui said coldly, then turned around and left arrogantly without even looking at Ji Feng. A girl who had been waiting for Hu Shuihui not far away, saw that the conversation between the two had ended, so she walked over and accompanied her as she left. Shuihui, what you said just now seemed too harsh. Isn't this a bad idea? The girl's voice came from afar. HMPH, I'm being polite. Hu Shuihui seemed furious. He's such a city dweller, and his family is so poor that he can't even afford to buy me a gift. I was so blind to fall for him. Shuihui, please speak softly. Don't let Ji Feng hear you. The girl seemed to feel something was wrong and tried to dissuade him. What are you afraid of? He's just a poor illegitimate child. Hu Shuihui said disdainfully. Boom. When Ji Feng, who was not far away, heard these words, he felt as if he was struck by thunder. He stood there in a daze, breathing rapidly, his face flushed red,